Imagine a glittering ballroom in the heart of Manhattan, where the city's elite gather under crystal chandeliers. The air buzzes with laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of ambition. This is the grand celebration of Sterling Foods, a leading exporter of premium seafood, marking the signing of a massive deal with Brightwave Corporation. At the center of it all is Lauren Hayes, the star sales manager whose charm and grit secured the contract. Tonight she's the queen of the room, but a single misstep is about to turn her world upside down. Lauren stands by the open bar, her navy dress catching the light as colleagues shower her with praise. She's 30, sharp and fiercely independent, with a reputation for closing deals no one else can. But beneath her confident smile, she feels the weight of envy from her peers. Lauren rarely drinks, preferring to keep her wit sharp, but the night's energy is infectious. She chats with clients, unaware that Rachel Brooks, her rival, watches from across the room with a calculating glare. Rachel, a fellow sales manager, has always been second to Lauren. Her sleek blonde hair and polished demeanor hide a burning resentment. Tonight, she sees her chance. Rachel approaches the bar, ordering a Long Island iced tea, a cocktail notorious for its potency, and hands it to Lauren with a sweet smile. "It's just lemonade," she lies, her voice dripping with false warmth. Lauren, distracted by a client's question, accepts the drink without a second thought. She takes a sip, then another, not noticing the strong burn of alcohol. Within minutes, her head spins and the room blurs. Lauren excuses herself, her steps unsteady as she heads for the elevator. Sterling Foods booked rooms for key staff, and she's determined to rest before tomorrow's meetings. Her vision swims as she fumbles with her keycard, mistaking room 1408 for 1409. She stumbles into a dimly lit suite, collapsing onto a plush sofa. She doesn't notice the man in the bedroom, already asleep. His name is Daniel Pierce, the heir to Brightwave Corporation, posing as a lowly assistant named Dan to observe Sterling Foods unnoticed. As tall, with dark hair and a quiet intensity, a man who hides his power behind a disarming smile. The next morning, sunlight streams through the suite's windows, jolting Lauren awake. She blinks, disoriented, her head pounding. Why is she on a sofa? She spots a man's jacket on a chair and freezes. Panic surges as she pieces together the night, the drink, the elevator, the wrong room. Thinking Daniel is a hotel staffer or junior colleague, she scrambles to her feet, desperate to leave before he wakes. In her haste, she grabs her purse, but a business card slips out, landing on the coffee table. On impulse, she scribbles a note with a trembling hand. "Thank you for the sofa. Don't tell my boss. I'll buy you coffee. Lauren H." She flees, heart racing, unaware of the chaos her note will unleash. Back at Sterling Foods' sleek Manhattan office, Lauren tries to shake off her embarrassment. The headquarters is a glass-walled hive of ambition, with open plan desks and the hum of espresso machines. She's early, reviewing contract details when the Brightwave team arrives. Leading them is Dan, dressed in a modest suit, his eyes scanning the room. Lauren's stomach drops as she recognizes him from the hotel. Before she can process, he steps forward, holding her business card with a playful smirk. "Coffee sounds great, Miss Hayes," he says, loud enough for colleagues to turn. The room buzzes with whispers as Lauren's face flushes. "Who is this guy?" she mutters, mortified. Daniel's voice is smooth, but his gaze holds a spark of curiosity. He introduces himself as Brightwave's assistant liaison, but his confidence hints at something more. Lauren, usually unflappable, stammers, "I don't know what you're talking about." Her colleague, Tyler Grant, a loyal but nosy assistant to the Brightwave team, chuckles. "Looks like you made an impression, Dan." Rachel, hovering nearby, senses an opportunity. She leans in, whispering to a coworker, "Lauren must be partied too hard last night." The seeds of her next scheme are already taking root. As the meeting begins, Lauren struggles to focus. Daniel's presence unnerves her, and the memory of her note burns in her mind. Did she really write that? She steals glances at him, noticing his calm authority. So unlike a typical assistant. He's hiding something, she thinks. But what? Meanwhile, Daniel watches her, intrigued by the woman who stumbled into his room and left a note bold enough to make him laugh. He tucks the card into his pocket, a silent promise to unravel her story. The stage is set for a collision of ambition and attraction. Lauren, determined to protect her career, vows to keep Dan at arm's length. Rachel, smelling weakness, plots her next move, and Daniel, drawn to Lauren's fire, wonders how long he can keep his true identity a secret. One thing is certain, that night at the hotel was just the beginning. What happens when a single mistake sparks a chain of secrets? Will Lauren uncover the truth about Dan, or will Rachel's schemes tear her down first? Stay with us as this tale of love, rivalry, and redemption unfolds in the heart of New York City. The glass walls of Sterling Foods headquarters gleam under the Manhattan sun, a testament to ambition and hustle. Inside, the open plan office hums with the clatter of keyboards and the aroma of fresh coffee. Lauren Hayes sits at her desk, her eyes fixed on a spreadsheet, but her mind replays the humiliating moment Dan flashed her business card. She shakes it off, determined to focus. She's the top sales manager, and nothing, not even a smug assistant, will derail her. But the storm brewing around her is just beginning. Lauren dives into her latest project, a high-stakes contract to supply premium seafood to Brightwave Corporation. The deal is her crowning achievement, but it means working closely with Dan, the man she can't stop thinking about. She tells herself it's professional caution. After all, Rachel Brooks has been spreading whispers that Dan is a playboy, charming his way through deals without a care. Lauren isn't buying it, but his easy confidence and cryptic smiles make her wary. She vows to keep him at arm's length, focusing on the contract instead. Across the office, Rachel watches Lauren like a hawk. Her polished exterior masks a relentless drive to outshine her rival. She's tired of being second best, and Lauren's mistake at the hotel is the perfect opening. Rachel crafts an anonymous email to the board, accusing Lauren of inflating sales figures to boost her commissions. The email is subtle, planted with just enough detail to spark suspicion. Within hours, the finance team launches an investigation, and Lauren feels the pressure mounting. She confronts Rachel in the break room, her voice low but sharp. "If you have a problem, say it to my face." Rachel smirks, stirring her coffee. "Why would I have a problem? You're the one under scrutiny." Meanwhile, Daniel Pierce, posing as Dan, observes the tension from a corner office. He's intrigued by Lauren's fire, but her cold professionalism stings. He doesn't know why she distrusts him, but he's determined to find out. His assistant, Tyler Grant, a loyal but overly eager 20-something, notices his boss's distraction. "You're staring at Hayes again," Tyler teases, flipping through contract notes. Daniel shoots him a look. "I'm studying the team, that's all." But Tyler, sensing an opportunity to protect Daniel from corporate gossip, fuels the Playboy rumors. "Just be careful," he says. "She's intense." Daniel nods, but his thoughts linger on Lauren's scribbled note, now tucked in his wallet. The first major clash comes 2 weeks later, during a site visit to Sterling Foods storage facility. Lauren and Tyler are tasked with inspecting a shipment of Alaskan salmon, a key part of the Brightwave deal. Rachel, granted temporary access to the facility's security system for a separate project, sees her chance. She overrides the electronic lock on the storage room, trapping Lauren and Tyler inside. The room, used for archiving records, is chilly and isolated, with no cell signal. Rachel disables the cooling system to avoid suspicion, but the concrete walls and heavy door ensure they're stuck for hours. Inside, Lauren paces, her breath visible in the cold air. "This isn't an accident," she mutters, checking the locked door. Tyler, shivering in his thin blazer, tries to lighten the mood. At least it's not the elevator. I hate small spaces. Lauren glares, but his goofy grin softens her. They share stories to stay warm, Lauren admitting her fear of losing her edge, Tyler confessing he wants to prove himself to Dan. After 2 hours, Daniel arrives, alerted by a delayed shipment report. He forces the door open, his face a mix of relief and fury. "Are you okay?" he asks Lauren, his hand brushing her arm. She pulls away, nodding curtly. "Just get us out." The incident triggers an internal investigation, but Rachel covers her tracks, blaming a system glitch. Lauren knows better. She spends late nights digging through security logs, her suspicion growing. Rachel, emboldened, escalates her game. She hires a hacker to tweak Lauren's sales records, planting discrepancies that deepen the board's scrutiny. Lauren feels the walls closing in, her reputation on the line. She confides in a co-worker, Chris Malone, a contract worker with a knack for fixing problems. Chris, orphaned young and hardened by odd jobs, is a mix of charm and opportunism. He listens, cracking jokes to ease her stress. "You're like Wonder Woman," he says. "No one's taking you down." Lauren laughs, grateful for the distraction. On the romantic front, Daniel tries to break through Lauren's defenses. He brings her coffee during a late meeting, his smile disarming. "Thought you could use this," he says. Lauren hesitates, then takes it, their fingers brushing. For a moment, she wonders if the rumors are wrong. But Tyler, misreading Daniel's interest as a risk to his boss's focus, doubles down on the Playboy narrative. He tells Lauren a fabricated story about Dan's string of flings at past companies. Lauren, stung, shuts Daniel out again, her walls higher than ever. Enter Chris Malone, whose role takes a surprising turn. Rachel, sensing his loyalty to Lauren, offers him cash to pose as her boyfriend, hoping to humiliate her in front of Daniel. Chris, strapped for rent, agrees, but his heart isn't in it. At a team happy hour, he slings an arm around Lauren, calling her babe in front of a stunned Daniel. Lauren, caught off guard, plays along to avoid embarrassment, but her eyes lock with Daniel's. His jaw tightens, and he leaves abruptly, muttering, "Didn't know you had a type, Hayes." The bar erupts in laughter, but Lauren feels a pang of regret. Chris, seeing her discomfort, whispers, "I'm sorry, I needed the money." She nods, realizing he's not the enemy. The drama peaks 8 weeks after the hotel incident. Lauren, exhausted from the investigation, visits a doctor for persistent fatigue and nausea. The diagnosis hits like a thunderbolt. She's pregnant. Her mind races to that night with Daniel, though her memories are hazy. Did something happen? She feels trapped, her career and independence at stake. Rachel, somehow learning of the visit through a hospital contact, spreads a vicious rumor. Lauren's pregnant with Chris' child. The gossip spreads like wildfire, reaching Daniel. He confronts Lauren in the office hallway, his voice low. "Is it true? About you and Malone?" Lauren's heart pounds, but she can't find the words. "Not everything is your business," she snaps, storming off. Alone in her apartment, Lauren wrestles with her options. She considers ending the pregnancy, fearing it will derail her life. A flashback shows her calling her sister, her voice breaking. "I can't do this alone," she says. Her sister urges her to think it through, reminding her of her strength. Lauren clutches the ultrasound photo, torn between fear and hope. She doesn't know it yet, but Rachel's schemes are about to push her to the breaking point. Daniel, meanwhile, grapples with his feelings. He knows the rumors about Chris are flimsy, but Lauren's distance cuts deep. He confides in Tyler, who admits to exaggerating the Playboy stories. "You like her, don't you?" Tyler asks. Daniel nods, his voice firm. "More than I planned." He resolves to uncover the truth, starting with Rachel's shady moves. The stage is set for a showdown that will change everything. As the investigation tightens and the rumors spiral, Lauren stands at a crossroads. Will she fight for her name, or walk away from it all? Can Daniel prove he's more than a charming facade? And what will Rachel do when her lies start to unravel? The answers lie just ahead, in a clash of hearts and secrets. The conference room at Sterling Foods headquarters is a battleground of egos, its glass walls reflecting the tension inside. Lauren Hayes sits at the polished table, her hands clasped tightly, as the board reviews her case. The anonymous email accusing her of financial fraud has snowballed into a full-blown crisis. Whispers of her alleged pregnancy with Chris Malone swirl among colleagues, staining her reputation. Lauren feels every eye on her, but she lifts her chin, refusing to crumble. Across the room, Rachel Brooks hides a triumphant smile, certain her rival is finished, but the truth is about to crash through like a tidal wave. The meeting begins with the finance director presenting evidence, discrepancies in Lauren's sales records, suggesting inflated commissions. Rachel, poised and confident, stands to speak. "I've always admired Lauren's work," she says, her voice smooth as silk. "But these findings are serious. We can't risk the company's reputation." She proposes suspending Lauren and transferring the Brightwave contract to her team. The board murmurs in agreement, and Lauren's heart sinks. She opens her mouth to protest, but the words catch in her throat. The weight of the past weeks, the investigation, the rumors, the pregnancy, threatens to drown her. At the head of the table, Daniel Pierce, still posing as Dan the assistant, clenches his jaw. He's been silent too long, watching Lauren fight alone. The rumors about her and Chris have gnawed at him, but he trusts his instincts. Lauren is no fraud, and Rachel is playing a dangerous game. He exchanges a glance with Tyler Grant, his loyal assistant, who nods slightly. Tyler has been digging into the email source, suspecting foul play. Daniel knows it's now or never. He stands, his voice cutting through the room like a blade. "Enough," he says. "This ends today." The board falls silent, confused by the assistant's audacity. Rachel smirks, assuming he's overstepping. But Daniel steps forward, his presence commanding. "I'm not Dan," he says, his eyes locking on Lauren. "I'm Daniel Pierce, CEO of Brightwave Corporation." Gasps ripple through the room. Lauren's eyes widen, her mind racing. The man she thought was a Playboy assistant is the heir to their biggest client? Rachel freezes, her confidence cracking. Daniel continues, his tone steady but fierce. "Lauren Hayes is the only reason we signed with Sterling Foods. These accusations are a sham, and I demand a full investigation." The finance director stammers, but Daniel presses on. He reveals that Tyler traced the anonymous email to an external server, suggesting tampering. The board scrambles to respond, but Rachel interjects, her voice shrill. "This is outrageous." "You're just protecting her because of personal bias." Daniel turns to her, his gaze icy. "Personal or not, I know a liar when I see one." The room holds its breath, sensing a storm. At that moment, Chris Malone steps into the doorway, his usual grin replaced by a grim determination. He's been wrestling with guilt since taking Rachel's money to pose as Lauren's boyfriend. Last night, he confronted her, secretly recording their conversation. Chris clears his throat, holding up his phone. "I have something you need to hear," he says. He plays the recording, and Rachel's voice fills the room cold and calculating. "I paid a hacker to tweak the numbers. Lauren will never see it coming." The board erupts in shock, and Rachel's face drains of color. Lauren stares at Chris, a mix of gratitude and disbelief. She turns to Rachel, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. "You tried to destroy me," she says. "Why?" Rachel, cornered, snaps back. "You think you're untouchable, Lauren. Always the star, always perfect. I just leveled the playing field." The finance director interrupts, his tone grave. "Miss Brooks, you're suspended pending a full inquiry. This matter will be referred to legal authorities." Rachel glares at Lauren, her eyes blazing with defiance, but security escorts her out. The room buzzes with stunned whispers. Daniel turns to Lauren, expecting relief, but her expression is unreadable. She's been vindicated, but the betrayal, the rumors, and the weight of her pregnancy feel like a noose. She stands, her voice quiet but firm. "I'm done," she says. "I resign, effective immediately." The board protests, but Lauren shakes her head. "I've given everything to this company, and it wasn't enough. I need to start over." She walks out, leaving a stunned silence in her wake. Daniel starts to follow, but Tyler grabs his arm. "Give her space, boss." "She's hurting." Outside, Lauren steps onto the bustling Manhattan sidewalk, the city's chaos mirroring her thoughts. She clutches her bag, the ultrasound photo tucked inside, and fights back tears. She thinks of the night at the hotel, the scribbled note, and Daniel's face in the meeting. Hes not who she thought, but does it matter? Her career, her future, her unborn child, all feel like pieces of a puzzle she can't solve. She hails a cab, determined to leave Sterling Foods behind, unaware that Daniel is already planning his next move. Back in the office, Daniel paces, replaying Lauren's words. He knows the rumors about Chris are false, but her resignation cuts deeper than he expected. He turns to Tyler, his voice urgent. "Find out where she's going. I need to talk to her." Tyler hesitates, then nods. "You're in deep, aren't you?" Daniel doesn't answer, but his eyes say everything. He's falling for Lauren, and hell, do whatever it takes to prove it. Chris, lingering by the coffee machine, overhears and feels a pang of guilt. He knows Lauren deserves better than the mess he helped create. He pulls out his phone, texting her, "I'm sorry. Let me make it right." Lauren, riding in the cab, sees the message but doesn't reply. Her heart is a tangle of anger, hope, and fear. She doesn't know it yet, but the truth about Daniel and her own strength is about to change everything. The storm has broken, but the skies aren't clear. Rachel is down, but Lauren is adrift, and Daniel is running out of time. Can he reach her before she walks away for good? Will Lauren find the courage to face her future, or will the weight of betrayal pull her under? The answers are coming, and they'll shake the heart of this city. The sun dips low over Manhattan, casting a golden glow across the city's towering skyline. Inside a cozy coffee shop on the Lower East Side, Lauren Hayes sits alone at a corner table, her fingers tracing the edge of an ultrasound photo. The hum of espresso machines and soft jazz fill the air, but her thoughts are a storm. Her resignation from Sterling Foods feels like a weight lifted, yet the uncertainty of her pregnancy and the sting of betrayal linger. She left the boardroom to reclaim her life, but now, facing an empty future, she wonders if she made the right choice. Across town, Daniel Pierce strides through the bustling streets, his heart pounding. He's replayed Lauren's exit 100 times, her words cutting deeper than he expected. "I'm done," she said, and walked away. He knows she's hurting, and the rumors about her and Chris Malone, though debunked, have left scars. Daniel, no longer hiding as Dan, is determined to set things right. He checks his phone, where Tyler Grant has sent him the address of the coffee shop, tracked from Lauren's last meeting. Tyler warned him, "She's stubborn, boss. Don't push too hard." But Daniel isn't backing down. Inside the shop, Lauren sips her decaf latte, her mind drifting to that night at the hotel. The scribbled note, the wrong room, Daniel's teasing smile when he flashed her card. She thought he was a playboy, but his defense in the boardroom was fierce, unwavering. Was she wrong about him? Her thoughts are interrupted by the bell above the door. Daniel steps in, his suit slightly rumpled, his eyes scanning until they find her. Lauren breath catches. She wants to run, but her feet stay rooted. He approaches, hesitant but resolute. "Can I sit?" he asks, his voice soft. Lauren nods, her guard up. Daniel takes a seat, leaning forward. "I owe you an apology, Lauren, for everything." She looks away, her fingers tightening around her cup. "You lied about who you are," she says. "I don't know what to believe anymore." Daniel exhales, his gaze steady. "I hid my identity to protect the deal, to see Sterling Foods for myself. But I never meant to hurt you." He reaches into his pocket, pulling out her business card. now creased from being carried for weeks. This, he says, smiling faintly, made me laugh. But it also made me see you, not just the star manager, but someone real, someone who fights. Lauren's eyes flicker with surprise, but she stays silent. Daniel presses on. The rumors about me being a playboy? Tyler spread them to keep people at a distance. There was an arranged engagement I ran from, but that's not who I am. I want you to know the real me. Lauren studies him, her walls cracking. Why do you care what I think? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel's answer is simple, unguarded. Because I'm falling for you, Lauren. I have been since that night. Her heart skips, but fear holds her back. She thinks of the ultrasound, the life growing inside her, and the uncertainty it brings. Before she can respond, her phone buzzes with a text from Chris Malone. Meet me at the park. I need to talk. Lauren hesitates, then stands. I need time, Daniel, she says, leaving him with a look that lingers. At a nearby park, Lauren finds Chris sitting on a bench, his usual swagger replaced by a quiet sincerity. He's been grappling with his role in Rachel's schemes, the money he took to pose as her boyfriend. I'm not good at this, he starts, rubbing his neck. But I messed up, Lauren. I took her cash because I was broke, but I should have said no. He hands her a USB drive. It's every email Rachel sent me, proof she planned it all. You deserve better than this mess. Lauren takes the drive, her eyes softening. Why help me now? She asks. Chris shrugs, a half-smile forming. You're the only one who didn't treat me like a nobody. Plus, I owe you for not punching me at that happy hour. Lauren laughs, the first real laugh in weeks. She thinks of her sister, her unborn child, and the fight still in her. Thanks, Chris, she says. You're not as bad as you think. Back at Sterling Foods, the fallout from the boardroom is swift. The finance team, armed with Chris' recording and Tyler's server logs, confirms Rachel tampered with Lauren's records. The board issues a formal apology, reinstating Lauren's position with a raise. Rachel faces termination and a lawsuit for fraud, her career in ruins. Tyler, feeling guilty for his role in the rumors, apologizes to Daniel. I thought I was protecting you, he says. Daniel claps his shoulder. Learn from it. We've got work to do. Daniel knows reinstating Lauren isn't enough. He tracks her down again, this time at her apartment building, where she's sorting through her decision to keep the baby. She opens the door, surprised to see him. Before she can speak, he holds up a small leather notebook embossed with her initials. For your next chapter, he says, your career, your life, whatever you choose, I just want to be part of it if you'll let me. Lauren takes the notebook, her eyes glistening. She thinks of the ultrasound, the fear, and the hope. I'm pregnant, she says, her voice steady, and I'm keeping it. I don't know if it's yours, but I need to do this my way. Daniel's face softens, no trace of judgment. Then let me help, he says. Not because I have to, but because I want to. Lauren searches his eyes, seeing the man who stood up for her, who kept her card, who ran across Manhattan to find her. She steps closer and they share a quiet moment, not a kiss, but a promise. Okay, she whispers. Let's try. The next week, Lauren returns to Sterling Foods, her head high. The office buzzes with respect, her reputation restored. She meets with the board, securing the Brightwave contract with new terms. In a surprising move, she recommends Chris for a permanent assistant role, with a generous salary. He's helped me more than you know, she tells Daniel, who agrees with a grin. Chris, accepting the offer, quips, I'll be the best assistant, unless there's free coffee involved. The team laughs, the tension of weeks past fading. And there you have it, a tale woven through the glittering streets of Manhattan, where ambition clashed with heart and truth triumphed over deceit. Lauren Hayes, the unstoppable sales manager, faced a whirlwind of betrayal, from Rachel's vicious schemes to the weight of her own doubts. Yet, in the chaos, she found something unexpected. Strength to embrace her future, a child on the way, and a spark with Daniel Pierce. the man who saw her for who she truly is. Their story began with a scribbled note in a hotel room, a mistake that bloomed into a chance for love. Rachel Brooks learned the hard way that envy burns brighter than talent, her lies unraveling in a boardroom showdown. Chris Malone, the unlikely hero, traded opportunism for loyalty, earning a new start. And Daniel, shedding his disguise, proved that honesty can mend even the deepest misunderstandings. Together, they remind us that love and justice are worth fighting for, no matter the odds. As the sun sets over New York City, Lauren and Daniel stand on the cusp of something new, their journey just beginning. It's a story that echoes in all of us, the courage to face our fears, to trust again, to chase what matters. So, what did you think? Did Lauren's resilience inspire you? Maybe you rooted for Daniel's persistence, or laughed at Chris' coffee obsession. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had a misunderstanding that led to something beautiful? We want to hear your stories. Thank you for joining us on this roller coaster of drama, laughter, and heart. If you love this tale, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss our next love story, packed with twists and feels. Want more office romance or scheming rivals? Let us know what you crave. Until next time, keep believing in second chances, because in the city that never sleeps, love always finds a way.